welcome or welcome back to Truth Seekers Tea. My name is Kate and I'm so thankful to have you here watching today's pick a card reading and on my channel. Welcome. Today we're going to be looking at how you think your person is feeling about you versus how they are actually feeling about you. So I did actually already film this intro, but I accidentally forgot to turn on my microphone. So I'm filming this intro after I've already filmed the piles. So I do want to take the opportunity to let you guys know that I did feel as I was doing the piles that for some of you guys, the energy may be flip-flopped. So in the sense of you may pick a pile and you may find that you feel like it's your person asking about you. So keep that in mind. I would still just go with the pile you're feeling the most drawn to, because I do feel Spirit had me channel it that way for a reason. So there are 3 piles for you to choose from. For pile number 1, we have the Prism Tarot with the Amethyst Crystal. For pile number 2, we have the Moon Power Tarot deck with the Rose Quartz Crystal. For pile number 3, we have the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck with the Blue Apatite Crystal. So go ahead and take whatever time you need to figure out which pile you're feeling drawn to. I will be doing an extended reading for each pile. I've actually already done them. And what topic I ended up going with for every single pile was having a look into the future of the connection. And it's really a look at the next pivotal sort of energetic interaction that you'll be having with your person. Basically, I went into it asking what your next interaction would be with them. But what I ended up getting was more an understanding of what the next energetic interaction will be. So it's kind of looking at what is going to be changing in the future, what you need to know about the connection, where it's headed, really. It's more about that. So if you do feel like your pile is resonating, you may want to check out the extended reading. I'll have it linked down below. But without further ado, let's get into your readings. Hello, pile number 1. I accidentally did not have a microphone on for the first 15 minutes of this reading. But if you chose the Prism Tarot deck and the Amethyst Crystal, then this is going to be your reading. I already pulled these cards out and I've already kind of tapped into the energy. So I'm going to keep it out here. So I apologize that it's already been, taken out onto the table, but I'll just tell you what I'm getting so far. So this reading is going to be about how you think your person is feeling, and then we're going to go into how they are actually feeling. So you seem to think, and by the way, I just want to say before I even get into it, this is one of those readings where, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this before when you're watching readings. If not, I'll just explain it now. Sometimes we'll pick on a pile where it's like, this may be like if your person was watching this reading, So I feel like for 80% of you, it could be that the energy is flip-flop because Spirit wants you to understand this perspective. And it could also be that some of your peoples are watching this type of video and are curious about you. And so this very much feels for some of you guys like a masculine energy asking about a feminine energy. So if you identify more with a feminine energy, we also, of course, have both in our energy, but it's like if you have primarily had lessons, you will know intuitively whether or not you resonate more with the feminine energy. It could be that this is just a flip-flop reading where it's like, I feel like I'm reading how a masculine energy thinks that a feminine energy is feeling. But yeah, we'll get into it. So just take how it resonates, flip-flop it if you need to. So the cards that came out is the Womb, the 8 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, the Page of Wands or Novice of Lightning in this book, the 7 of Cups here, the Page of Clouds or Apprentice of Clouds, which is this is the Knight of Swords in reverse. And then this one is the 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Gems here. So what I'm getting here, and then we also got Gifts from the Past and Ungrateful Daughter and Earthly Mother. And so the order in which these all came out, by the way, I did the Womb actually right before we filmed, and then I just got these 2, and it makes complete sense. But I'm just going to go over everything because that's what we got to do. So what I'm getting for you guys is a feeling of you feel that this person is walking away from you and is no longer willing to accept the standard of the relationship that existed in the past. it feels like this is a relationship where there may have been a very uneven sense of give and take. And it feels like your person was definitely a giver and is coming through in the very like motherly archetype, the chronic giver, the person who doesn't really ask for their needs to be met. And so it feels like in the past you may have benefited from this person giving and never expecting anything in return and still maintaining this relationship. But it feels like that's a past energy, okay? And so it feels like you now feel that your person is no longer feeling fulfilled by the relationship with you. So this could be someone that walked away from you. You feel that your person has realized two things. One thing being that it was unfulfilling in this relationship, how there was a lack of reciprocity for them. And you also feel that this is how you feel this person is feeling, by the way. You feel that this person is no longer unwise to the sort of it's almost like this person treated you like an option, or maybe this person when I say this person, you may have treated this person like an option. You may regret that now, but there's a feeling of you maybe having had multiple options, and so maybe you didn't prioritize this relationship or this person. But there's a feeling here of feeling like maybe this person is fed up with the lack of action that you've taken towards them, the lack of reciprocity you've given to them. Because you made this person feel like an option, and you seem to know that though. So you seem to be aware that maybe you were this ungrateful daughter with the earthly mother, like ungrateful son, whatever it matters. But this just talks about the energy of someone who is kind of a taker and doesn't really appreciate what they have while they have it. And so I just feel like this dynamic was one that you may have benefited from this person still being in this stage of not really thinking what they're getting out of the relationship, because I feel like what this person, you now know that this person is thinking about that, and there is this shift where this person is very much taking into account their own priorities and their own security, and they're balancing things out. They're learning a lot about balance, and they're learning about how to prioritize themselves, and because of that, they're in the Four of Cups was underneath that as well. This person is no longer really interested, is what I'm picking up on, is emotionally disinterested in this relationship, and you feel this emotional disconnect with this person, and so you feel that they are no longer emotionally invested, and they're no longer mentally invested either. It's like you feel kind of like this person is just not interested, is kind of what I'm getting. And maybe in the past they really were. In the past, I feel like this person gave you an abundance of energy, but there's a feeling here of you feeling like your person is really stepping up and starting to want to build something of value for themselves, of reciprocity, of grounding. And you're realizing that your person is no longer willing to kind of be in this Page of Wands energy where they were not thinking too much for the future and kind of like taking things at face value, and not really thinking too much into the practicality of the relationship, especially. And so you may have benefited from this person being lighthearted and maybe not fully grown into their Empress energy. It's almost like this person was in pre-Empress energy and they were more interested in you then. And it's not that you had bad intentions for this person. I just think that it's kind of one of those situations where you don't know what you have until it's gone, and it's too late to make the decision to prioritize it because you had your opportunity to prioritize this person. But I think you may have taken for granted that this person wasn't giving you an ultimatum. It's like there's a feeling of this person in the past, like not like just kind of going with the flow and not giving you an ultimatum and just endlessly giving you energy. And it's like that was because this person wasn't really seeing how that wasn't fair. This person was just kind of unaware of how that wasn't fair, and because of that, it kind of took two to tango. And so it's not that you were a terrible person just like taking from them. It's more like they were giving, and when people are responsible for expressing their own boundaries and expressing their own needs, and because this person didn't really have as many boundaries and didn't express their needs, it's not that you were a terrible person. It's that that may have worked for a time period, but now this person is very much aware of what they deserve. And, maybe they even, they may have walked away from you because they felt like an option. They may have been made to feel like you weren't serious about them. And once they started wanting more shifts, or maybe they wanted more from you, maybe you didn't really want to step up because maybe you did have options, or maybe you were still prioritizing like other things, and you didn't really want to prioritize this person. But there is a feeling now of being aware of how this person no longer has the interest in you that they did in the past, because they are aware that they can create something better, and they may even have moved on to something else that is more fulfilling for them with the Eight of Cups here. And so it's kind of like with this gift from the past, it's like this energy is like, in hindsight, the energy of someone who is more of a taker in a relationship. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's more like a mirrored wound. Like takers, I mean, obviously the extreme form would be narcissism with takers, but there's also a lot of other takers that are more like avoidant people. And it's not necessarily that they're terrible people, and like, I don't know, up in debate if narcissists are terrible people, but it's not necessarily like I'm getting a narcissistic vibe from this pile. It's more like you fit into the mold of this person's like wounds, and you guys had the similar wounds where you're more avoidant with your emotions. You don't really want to commit. You don't want to get too invested, and you don't want to, it's not that you don't care about people though. It's not that. It's more like you're just avoidant, and this person maybe was more anxiously attached. So they would kind of keep giving, or feel like they were willing to prove their love and kind of keep giving, even if they weren't necessarily like happy, you know? And so I just feel like now you're kind of seeing this person grow into their feminine energy, and it's like you kind of are in this like reflective process of recognizing that maybe this person that you maybe took for granted the situation. And so I feel like you're learning your lesson just as this person is. It's like this person had to learn that they were being taken for granted, which was obviously going to be painful for them. And it's equally as painful to realize that you took something good for granted. And so I feel like you're in this phase where you're kind of realizing that you did do that, how you didn't really see, you know, and maybe in the past, because I'm getting with this Knight of Swords here being in reverse, and like this Six of Pentacles, it's like this person was blind in the past to how generous they were and how giving they were. It's like they gave just for no reason, because maybe it's this energy of not necessarily feeling worthy, and so they overgave. They overgave to prove that they deserve love. They felt like they had to earn love in the past, and so it kind of created a dynamic here where, you know, it worked, I feel like, for the two of you, because maybe for you, you feel like you want to engage somewhat in a relationship, but you don't want the commitment, you don't want the vulnerability, you don't want rejection. Like there's just an essence of this relationship mirroring a wound, and both of you guys needing to learn a lesson here. But I just feel like this person maybe decided to learn the lesson, and I feel like once this person walked away or took their energy back, it's kind of your turn to learn the lesson then, because that's kind of the way it goes, is like they initiate the healing process for you guys. And so I feel like for now you are kind of like realizing the karma of the situation. And I feel like something I want to say is like, you don't necessarily need to like beat yourself up for it. Kind of understand that it takes two to tango. It takes two to have this dynamic. And it's a good lesson though. And I feel like it is really important for you to recognize, to not repeat that, you know, and to learn why it's important to open up and heal those wounds of being afraid of vulnerability, being afraid of connection, because you don't want this to happen again, you know, or maybe this is a repeating pattern for you. But this person's healing there, and I don't want to get too into it because I feel like this is almost like supposed to be from your perspective, but we'll take a look next into how your person's actually feeling about you and about the situation. But I feel like your perception is kind of like the harsher reality of it. We might be surprised to see like that this person like forgives you, things like that. Like I'm just kind of sensing, but we'll see what comes through to how your person's actually feeling. Again, you also could be the person that we're talking about here, because I just feel like this energy is pretty common on my channel. All right, I'm gonna get a couple more though for how you think your person's feeling. I'm hearing gotta go my own way. What about us? All right, how does pal number one think that their person is currently feeling? Oh, I just saw a change in the wind. Yeah, you feel like this person's changing things up. Like you feel like this person's like no longer in this pattern. You're seeing that they're actually like growing up, or not even growing up, but like maturing, even like spiritually or energetically. It's like, while this person may have been in that Page of Wands energy, it's like they were exploring, so they weren't too sure of what they wanted, you know, like the Page of Wands is more like open energy and like doesn't really have things planned out, right? But the 10 of Pentacles is like, okay, like I want to leave a legacy behind. Like I want to, for some people, it could involve getting married. I want to have a family. Like I want all these things. You know, maybe when we first met, this relationship worked because, you know, they were in a more like childlike energy where they were still like growing and discovering. But I feel like you now perceive that this person is like getting down to business and like they're looking to settle down. And so it's kind of like there's no room for you anymore is how you feel. And I feel like this is probably good for you to realize and good for you to contemplate on, because it's probably like a very, it's not probably, it is a lesson for you. We have community. Yeah, and so you may feel like this person has found a new community, or like it's almost like you may feel like left behind by this person, but there's just a feeling of feeling like this person kind of found their place. And yeah, you feel like this person kind of recognized that they maybe didn't belong with you, or they almost just kind of found their place in life, you feel. And now you kind of feel like, you know, a little bit sad about that. Yeah, we have blessed here. You feel like your person is doing really well for themselves, honestly. Like you feel like they're on their way to maybe even building a strong community. You may see that they have created abundance for themselves, where in the past maybe they were more looking to you, or like in the past they maybe didn't see their own worth as much. But I feel like you sense that this person has received a lot. You see this person as extremely blessed, and so you think that they are in this energy of belonging and feeling blessed, and because of that, because of their like worth, I feel like this person's grown in their self-love as well. It's almost like they're surrounding themselves by people who are more on their level, and you may feel that a little bit left behind here. Yeah, a change in the wind. That one wanted to come out. Yeah, you feel like this person has like changed things up. Yeah, to be fair, because this person started to become aware of the give and take in relationships. They became aware of like justice, and they have been learning how to, from your perspective, it's great that you are realizing all this, honestly, though. It's great that you're seeing this because it's an important lesson, you know, but you feel like this person's really found a sense of belonging, a sense of success, and being on the right path. You feel like this person, the feeling I'm getting is like almost not in a narcissistic way, but like in a way that's like, you could only stand next to this person when they didn't see where they belong. Does that make sense? It's almost this energy of like this person really being of a really high value. And the only thing that was stopping them from really being there was like seeing that in themselves. And so it's like now that they're in this like judgment energy, what's really happened is they've realized that where they belong is like up there. And it's not to say that you can't go up there too, but it would require you to go through shadow work. It would require you to grow as a person. And it's like this person is no longer willing to see the best in people and give people benefit of the doubt. They know exactly what they deserve now. And so you seem to be aware of that, which is good. And so I don't need to beat you up over it, but I feel like the lesson here is like, don't take it for granted, because especially if you feel that someone has worth and it's unrealized, like don't take advantage of that situation. You may have not even tried to take advantage of it, but it's like you just know now that this person, and look at that owl on top of their head. It's like you're seeing this person as becoming wiser to relationships, and there's also like a little like fortune cookie that says nope. And it's like this person has gotten better at knowing what they deserve and knowing what is not like fair for them, basically. And in the past, they maybe just didn't have a very good measuring system as to when a situation wasn't for their benefit or wasn't good. And so I feel like now that this person, it's like they've realized how blessed they are and like how amazing they are, honestly. And like that has caused this shift away from the relationship is what I'm getting. Yeah, but you just feel like this person is in a more balanced energy, an energy where, yeah, it's like they know who they are a lot more now. And in the past, you just may have been more compatible with this person when they were more of like a giver with no expectation of return, you know? Mhm. All right, I'm gonna get a couple more and then we'll look into how this person's actually feeling about you. How does pile number one's one think that their person is feeling now? Yeah, okay. So it says, I forgive myself for misinterpreting life's attempts to redirect me to something better as rejection. I choose to believe that by not creating attachments to a specific outcome, I may be moved to the experience of something even more rewarding than I can currently imagine. Yeah, and so maybe in the past you felt like your person, maybe they would chase you, or like they would, yeah, there's a feeling here of, in the past, maybe your person, if they felt rejected, or like not even fully rejected, but if they felt like someone wasn't like pouring energy into them, or if they felt like they weren't being accepted in a situation, or if they weren't like, yeah, okay, I'm getting a message, but it's like this person may be interpreted not belonging or being rejected, or like not being as like loved in a way by certain people as a reflection of their value. And so this person may have worked like double time to belong, or double time to like earn love and acceptance. And I feel like this person is really realizing that all of those mishaps, or like people like pushing them away, it's not an invitation to like chase after it. If someone isn't picking you, instead of seeing it as like a lack of value on you, it's almost like, oh, that's just not for me. Like the universe is trying to push me in a new direction. And so I feel like this is exactly what you feel that this person is realizing, is that you're going to be moved to something even more rewarding than you can imagine. And so, yeah, maybe in the past, like you felt like this person would stay stuck on you, or stuck on different things that didn't even serve them, but it's like almost like that's why. And now you feel like this person's letting go of like attachments they're letting go of the attachment to you, definitely feel, but you also feel like this person is yeah, look at this, oh my gosh, it's about attachment. Sorry, I just am getting my mind like kind of like changed to the new one, but it says, I forgive myself for creating attachment to the promises they made and could not keep. I choose to believe that unkept promises are life's attempts to move me to a greater place of, where the possibility of greater growth and love awaits me. Yeah, it's like you may have rejected this person, or maybe you promised this person a lot, or like, I don't know. It's almost like you may have led this person on a little bit and maybe known that that game like works, or yeah, you may have kind of felt that you had a hold over this person, the more you didn't like fully give them like what they wanted. Maybe you have a fear also of giving, because then you think that there won't be a reason for the person to like come back. Like you may have a tendency to like to be chased in relationships. It's honestly like the same disorder, but reverse. You know, it's kind of like being afraid to accept and give love to someone, because what if when you give the love then they reject you and leave, you know? And so maybe a part of you has always kept a door a little bit closed in your relationships, because you want to maintain that person's attention on you. You may feel that the only way to get attention is to not fully give all of yourself, you know, which is something I definitely recommend that you work on and look at, because it's definitely preventing you from authentic relationships too. But I feel like this person may be held on to a lot of hope for a long time, or maybe, yeah, maybe they held on to hope of the future, but it's almost like they're realizing where they belong, and they're realizing that rejection is divine protection, you know? And so it's almost like because they've healed a part of themselves, they no longer are chasing you. And you seem to be realizing this is the best way I could describe it. So let's see how this person is actually feeling. All right, Spirit, can I please get a card to represent how pile one's energy is actually in regards to this connection? Because that was the subconscious feelings of you, of pile number one who's watching, who's supposed to be the intended receiver. So what's the true energy of pile number one's person? We have the sword in the village. Okay, and the mother is at the back of the deck though. All right, I am gonna read these really quick and then I'll come back, because I still need to memorize these cards. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I want to include you guys in some of my reading and my thought process that's coming through my mind. But I was kind of getting it. I've actually like read these before, and it kind of was already coming through, but I just want to explain it while I have the book in front of me. But it's super interesting that the Village and the Sword came out, because a very, very clear message is coming through. So with the Village card talks about sort of like the limits along with the belonging that comes from like a hometown, a family, a tribe, like a village, right? So it talks about belonging, a sense of a community, right? Where you came from. But there's almost this energy of like maybe being restricted by staying within a certain community ideology, and it may have served you in the past, but staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. So, and again, it's interesting that community came through for how you thought they were feeling, because this may be someone you shared a community with in the past, and maybe they walked away from that community. That's just a possibility. Or this could even be someone you know, I don't know, through some sort of friend group, something like that. But there's a feeling of your person feeling very much that they have been called to make a very swift, difficult yet true decision to their soul, to cut off what no longer serves them, and maybe was holding them back from really being who they're meant to be. And so in the past, maybe this person felt an obligation to stay, or an obligation to fit in. But it's almost like the Blade says, to use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is nasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is that one is honest, swift, and accurate. And what's really interesting, it says the sword is at birth. When basically what they're saying, the first sword encounter we have in our lives is when our what's it called? Oh my gosh, what? Not, I'm like thinking placenta. The umbilical cord is cut from our mother. And so it's really interesting. There's a lot of themes in this group of like growing up, changing, becoming who you're meant to be, even if it's different, leaving behind what no longer serves you. And so I almost feel like this person has really had to make, although there was a familiarity that came with this relationship, and honestly, maybe this relationship, maybe it was literally a family member for some of you guys, or a friend. But if this is a romantic relationship, it could even be that like the type of relationship that they had with you very much mirrored something to do with their family, something that was comfortable, but not necessarily like for their highest good, right? And so I feel like this person has had to make a very decisive and final decision to change, and to leave behind what no longer what a part of their history, but they're leaving it out of their future. And so I do think that the way you think that they feel is that they've moved on and they've changed. I definitely agree with that. I feel like this person has really decided to go their own way, as painful as it may have been. And so I am sensing that it's been difficult to go their own way. And it wasn't an easy decision, but this person feels that it was the right decision for them and their soul and their journey. And they no longer could have maintained themselves in this relationship without limiting themselves, is kind of what I'm getting. So how has pile number one's person been feeling about pile number one? Yeah, that we have the Devil here. So yeah, they may have felt somewhat restricted or held back by this relationship. And there could have even been codependency within this relationship. They may have felt that in order to maintain the relationship with you, due to your guys' energy signature, it's almost like this feeling of you guys inevitably fall into this like chaser runner dynamic, or this dynamic that is codependent. We have the Apprentice of Gems, the page. This is the Knight of Pentacles. How is pile number one's person feeling? Four of Wands. Yeah, it's like they found some sort of like home or something. It's like they've been working on returning to some sort of, it's like they decided to take a longer, more difficult journey to a home where they felt more free, is what I'm hearing. How is pile one's person actually feeling about pile number one? Yeah, look at that. The Eight of Cups. They had to walk away because they felt restricted, or they felt they had to stay in a mold of a version of a self that didn't fulfill them, and it no longer served them. So yeah, you're very right about with the Eight of Cups there. Yeah, we have Strength here in reverse. They felt like they couldn't show their strength. It's almost like they felt like weakened or something like that. I don't know. It's like maybe you guys knew each other through work, or maybe you guys like worked together. I'm even getting kind of like an energy of just like obligation here, like an energy of like feeling obligated to give and be consistent or something like that towards you, that this person felt, but they almost felt that it weakened them. They felt that they couldn't be strong, they couldn't be courageous, staying behind. They felt like it would have been a weakness. We have the Wheel of Fortune as well. Again, there's a feeling here, and look at the Lovers at the back of the deck here too. Okay, so what I'm getting is like there's a feeling here of this person being very emotionally invested in you and having been emotionally invested in this relationship, but kind of having to realize that their emotional investment in this relationship and trying to make it work is something that actually was restricting them. And it's almost like this person surrendered to fate, and they felt that they were being pushed to shift, to move forward. And it's almost not like this person, like, because maybe a part of you may feel like hurt by this person moving forward, but it's really that this person was like genuinely following like the guidance of their soul. Like the universe was like, it's time to go, like let's go, because we have a different home for you. Don't worry. And so it's almost like this person had to throw caution to the wind and take a risk away from something that was reliable. Yeah, it's almost like maybe there was like a very I don't know, maybe you guys like lived a life together, or there was something about the connection and like your surroundings, like the surrounding around you, where this relationship maybe was again, like with the Knight of Pentacles here, there's something very routine about it that doesn't allow for a lot of expansion, is what I'm getting. And so it's almost like this person could have stayed in this very routine, doing what they've always done, is what I'm hearing, or they could break the mold and realize their own strength in a way. And so I feel like this person decided to leave home or something, or leave a community, or maybe you even felt like a sense of home to this person, or maybe there was a sense of familiarity, a functioning dysfunction. But yeah, they feel that there was some sort of like stability that you guys had, or some sort of foundation that unfortunately, it's like they almost felt like it wasn't up to them whether or not they could stay and maintain the relationship with you. It's almost like they felt that the cycle was over, or they were being pushed into a new cycle. And it was a hard decision to make, but they felt that they had to make that decision in order to honor their soul in a way. Let's see what else though. And it's like maybe this person had to make a decision, or like that was like to walk away from this connection that was like kind of not risky, but like I don't know, like maybe you guys already had like shared assets, or like maybe you guys were part of a community where this person was already like entrenched in it. It just, there was something about that. There was already something of stability where you would connect with this person, and it was related to that. So it could be that you guys had something together that was like stable. Maybe you guys were a part of the same community, but there's just a feeling, or maybe part of the same friend group, something like that. But there's just a feeling of this person ending up feeling very restricted by it, and feeling that they could no longer stay and lie to themselves that it was right for them, you know, as much as they wanted to. Because with the Devil and the Eight of Cups here, it's telling me that like this person's really struggled with the decision to walk away and unbind themselves, but they know it's what's right. How else is this person? Yeah, we have this can't be caught energy, because this person knows that they have some sort of a mission to fulfill, and yeah, they almost feel like they felt restricted, or they felt held back is the best way I could describe it. They felt maybe that a lot of people within like your community, or like maybe a community you shared, and maybe even you, maybe they felt like their energy was really pulled on. And that would make sense, especially if you felt like this person was a strong giver in the past. It's almost like this person decided to stop giving all of their magical energy to like everyone, and they decided to like go on their own journey here. And like look at these colors. We have a lot of orange and pink here on both of these cards. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like some sort of a clash of, yeah, oh my gosh. What I'm kind of getting is it's like the red represents the root chakra. And so there's something to do with the root chakra where maybe the lifestyle you guys lived, or the lifestyle of your energetic signature right now is more grounded. It's this Capricorn energy, this energy of kind of maybe like working on finances or working on stability above all. Like think about it like a community or a village, like in any movie. Oh, what I'm also getting right now is like Moana. So like I'm getting the analogy of Moana, where Moana is supposed to kind of just have her role in the community, and she's like, in the song she sings, it's like, everyone has this role on an island. Maybe I can roll with mine. Like I can dun, dun, dun. Like basically she tries to dim herself into fitting in with the village, because it's this energy of wanting to belong still, but having to limit your self-expression and your individuality to do that. And it's like this person couldn't do that. It's kind of what I'm getting. And so this person kind of set themselves free, and it was a very difficult decision because they probably felt very lonely during this and felt very like ungrounded. They had to prioritize their solar plexus energy, which is like their own willpower and their own individuality, like that masculine energy, over their belonging energy. And it's like, it's almost like this person was ripped apart from like a sense of belonging somehow. Yeah, and you may be perceiving it very much like this person wants nothing to do with you, but it's more like this person still has love for you and still has nostalgic energy in a way. But it's this energy of them feeling it's inevitable. Because with the Lovers here, it's like, look at that, the journey too. Yeah, Six of Cups, their memories. This person had their own work to do and their own journey to take. And while there is love here, there is a feeling that they were being weakened by belonging with you and belonging with maybe a time period, a place that you're related with or something, or something else. But yeah, Gifts the Portal. I'm going to take it because, again, there's such a strong feeling that this person felt very called to make these changes in their life, called to walk away. And it's like this person maybe even like left behind something that was like of value, is what I'm getting. Like something that most people would be like, why did you do that? Or like, why would you decide against having like a really high paying job to do something else? That's just an example that was relevant to my life. And with Gifts the Portal, it talks about how you do these small things, and even if you don't get immediate results, you're still following your soul path, and you will end up being rewarded. You know, Gifts the Portal, it's this energy of not doing the right thing, but this is the energy I've been getting. I'm going to read it because it's short, and it's like the energy I'm getting as to why this person decided to walk away. But it says, yeah, look at this. It says, Gifts the Portal. Some things that appear to be a loss or a waste of time are actually just labors for which you have not yet seen the reward. It may feel like you work and work and work for nothing to happen, or not enough happens in exchange. It would be nice if everything worked by a simple and clear formula, but it can be more complicated than that at times. Some hurdles need more work and attention to overcome than others. The actions we take don't always turn out in the way we had predicted. You know that your hard work is always being seen even when it doesn't feel like it. And so this person basically was just being called to kind of prioritize their dharma, like the dharmic path, which requires that. It requires work. It requires not seeing immediate results, right? But yeah, the way that this person feels is that they got this sense of security from being with you or the relationship, but they felt bound by that sense of security. They felt restricted, and it's almost like the only way to grow was for them to cut off this relationship, as painful as it could have been for them. Yeah. Here, actually, I'm going to get a couple of these first. Yeah, look at that, new life. It's like this person was called to walk. And I'm also just being called to say that it's like, it's almost like it wasn't this person's choice. It's always free will, but this person like had a soul plan before they incarnated. And it just feels like that was the thing that they were meant to decide for their highest good, you know? Yeah, we have deep knowing. And this talks about like following your intuition and following like where you're being called to go, even though it's not obvious. It's about reading between the lines and trusting in your intuition. And so this person, yeah, look at that, all that glitters. They felt that they had to walk away from something that looked nice on the outside, but it didn't bring them fulfillment, okay? And so it could have been this relationship. It could have been something to do with like the environment around this relationship, but it's like this person had to really kind of let go of whatever hopes they had of like fitting into whatever community you're part of, or even being like the one for you, maybe. Maybe they had dreams of that, but like in the past. Yeah, look at that, between worlds. I'm just going to take it because it's like the energy. They knew that they were being called to go somewhere and transition somewhere else. And it's like this person has been called to leave behind an old life to transition to a new one. That's going to be more beneficial for them, at least. It's not to say that this isn't your path to stay here, but it's like there's this energy of this person having to let go of what was societally acceptable or something like that to move more into where their soul was calling them. And they felt something about this relationship was holding them back. As much as they loved you, which I'm getting, there is like such a strong love here, which kind of hurts. Like I feel a sense of homesickness or a sense of sadness that it had to go that way, but there's also an acceptance to it and an understanding that this person, they'll always, but there's also this energy of like always looking back and having a camaraderie or having this energy of like, you know, like almost like it's similar to the metaphor of like, it's very necessary to leave home and move out, but you always have a love for where you came from, you know, as much as it maybe was difficult sometimes. It says, I forgive myself for engaging in decisions that have created unhelpful behavioral patterns. I choose to believe that I do not need to prove that I was right to have chosen in the first place, as every experience has gifted me with a deeper understanding of myself. Yeah, okay. For engaging decisions that have created unhelpful behavioral patterns. I feel like this person has been learning lessons of this person has kind of had to decide the wrong way to go the right way is what I'm getting. So this person maybe originally like was very drawn to you, but it's almost like this person felt like by furthering the relationship with you, it was almost like an old pattern, an old soul pattern, and potentially there was karma there that this person, it really wasn't healthy for this person. And so I do feel like moving away from you also came with a sense of acceptance of like this person seems to understand like what they were learning through the relationship with you, and they forgive themselves for anything that went wrong here. I don't know if it's important for you to hear that, but there's just a feeling of I was right to have chosen the first place. 'Cause it's like this person has forgiven themselves. This person is the type of person who knows that it's okay to invest themselves in a certain situation and then change their minds because that's life and it's about learning. And so this person feels that way. They feel like it was one of those things where they chose and they learned their lesson and then they had to move forward because they finally made the wrong decision enough times to make the right one, is kind of what I'm getting from them. It says, yeah, I forgive myself for ending up in places not meant for me while focusing on proving myself to be good enough. Like that's exactly the energy I've been picking up on. Literally the exact energy when I was kind of trying to explain that this person maybe in the past, maybe they felt like an outcast or felt like they always wanted to get people's approval, especially maybe yours or something. But this person is letting go of needing security, needing acceptance, literally for ending up in places not meant for me while focusing on proving myself to be good enough. This person used to do that in the past, and it has something to do with your relationship too. And so it maybe this person was doing that in a general sense in their life. And then it also relates to relationships. So it's like maybe if they felt rejected by a certain, maybe they saw you as something that they really wanted or something that they really like felt that they could benefit from, or like maybe they're just very attracted to your energy, something that they didn't have in themselves, maybe your stability energy. And so they maybe were very focused on proving themselves to you. And they felt like when they'd ultimately be happy is when you accepted them or they found acceptance into the group or whatever. But it says, I choose to believe that my unique perspective does not need to be shared by others, and I'm allowed to create a life that others do not understand. Yeah. And this person has given themselves the right to make decisions that don't make sense to people, that maybe aren't super like Knight of Pentacles, like instead of making slow movements, maybe this person just decided to walk away or something like that. But it's all part of this person's like soul mission. And I think this relationship for them was kind of a lesson on not forcing something that, if there was an incompatibility between you guys, it's almost like this person in the past saw that as a invitation to try harder, to win you over, to earn your love. And it's almost like this person is learning to recognize that maybe they were belonging somewhere else, you know? It says, I forgive myself for not giving my body the care and attention it's been asking for. Oh my gosh, okay. And that when I prioritize myself and my body, I'm capable of approaching all else with abundance of clarity and vitality. Yeah. So maybe this person self-sacrificed a lot even. Maybe they were even unhealthy sometimes. Maybe you knew that this person had some sort of like coping mechanisms. Maybe this person like struggled with some sort of addiction sometimes, but there's some essence of them feeling very unhealthy in this environment of self-sacrifice. And it's like this person kind of lost themselves maybe through this relationship or through that time period. But I just want to read the last one because this one's super relevant. It says, I forgive myself for taking the safe path others have suggested instead of trusting my own unique journey. I choose to believe that exactly where I need to be, that I am exactly where I need to be, and it is never too late to begin exploring the spaces in which I feel the most vibrant and free. And so, yeah, it's like this person gave up on some sort of traditional path, gave up on trying to fit in with this relationship with you, stop trying to win you over because they realized they were killing themselves. That's too strong of a way of saying it, but they were hurting themselves. They were depleting themselves to belong. And that's that devil energy. They've kind of been letting go of this devil energy, this codependent energy, this energy of needing an environment, a relationship to feel worthy. And it's like this person's kind of letting go of that. And so that's actually really beautiful for them. Yeah, so again, I feel for some of you guys, you may be literally the person that decided to make these changes, so flip-flop it if you need to. What do we want to go into for the extended reading? I'm going to look at what your next interaction will be like. What is the next interaction going to be like with this person? What will the overall next action be in this connection? Will it be a conversation? Like what will be said? What energy exchange will happen the next time that you guys meet, talk, or if that's going to happen? Just getting some information on that. So if that sounds interesting for you, I will have it linked down below. If you are not going to join me, that's totally okay. I appreciate you being here for the YouTube reading. If it did resonate, please do hit the like button. Leave a comment. I love to see what you guys have to say. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading, and I hope to connect with your energy again sometime soon. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal and the Moon Power Tarot, this is going to be your reading where we're going to be looking at how you think your person feels about you, and then we'll be looking at how they actually feel about you. So I pre-pulled an oracle card just to see how subjectively you are perceiving your person's energy, and we got the Hunter, and interestingly enough, we also got the gem at the back of the deck. So the Hunter talks about a very focused energy, maybe even having an agenda, something like that. But let's get into the tarot, and then we'll tie in the oracle as well. So how does pile number 2? Oh, okay. How does pile number 2 think their person is feeling? Also, we will be doing an extended reading. I'll be figuring out what topic makes the most sense to go into towards the end, so stay tuned for that. If you feel like this really resonates and you want more information, I'll have it linked down below. But let's tune into how pile number 2 thinks their person feels towards them. How's pile number 2 perceiving their person's feelings? We have the Hermit in reverse. The Knight of Swords, which definitely goes with the Hunter. What's interesting, what I'm getting just right off the bat, like with the Hermit here in reverse, there's a feeling of you feeling almost like watched by this person. Like there's an energy of feeling like this person has a focus on you. But there's something about maybe this focus on you being hidden. It's almost like you feel that you are being focused on or hunted. It's not that they're trying to like kill you or something, but it's more like there's this energy of you feeling like this person's watching you from the darkness. That sounds so creepy, but yeah, some sort of focus on you. You may even feel like this person is like curious about you, is seeking some sort of knowledge about you even. Yeah, the Moon, it's like this person's hidden. You feel like this person's like intentions towards you are hidden. It's like you feel this strong focus on you from this person, but it's almost like in silence, or it's like you can't really pinpoint, like it's like this person tries to hide their focus on you is what I'm getting. But there is a strong sense of there's a sense of mystery around what this person wants or why they focus on you, but yeah, there's also a sense of impending action, or like when are they going to say something, or like, yeah, there's just a feeling of being watched, but not like in a creepy way almost. We have the star. Again, they may be watching you or something. Yeah, you may feel like this person has this focus on you. Um, they may think you're unique. You may feel that this person sees you as like a prize or a gem, but there's just this weird energy of like almost being incognito, but like it's almost like you can energetically feel that this person's focused on you, or like is inspired by you, is interested in you. For some, obsessed, but like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Let's get some more. We have the Four of Wands. How does pile number 2 think their person feels? The sun, the moon and the sun. Then also the Six of Swords here. Okay, there's an energy here of like you being the sun to this person. It's like this person's looking towards you to move in your direction, because like look at this like projection of the light, and it's like this person, it feels like they're representing the horse here. Hold on one second, I just need to fix something. Cool. Yeah, let me just tune in a little bit more. You feel like this person like unnecessarily like hides their attraction towards you, or their, you sense that this person admires you, but it's like, why do they move in darkness? Like, why do they have to maybe hide their intentions? The Four of Wands here and the Knight of Swords. They maybe, you may get the feeling that this person's very curious about like your home life, or your foundation, like your friends, things to do with the fourth house, like who you live with, who you're involved with. It's like this person may kind of you may get the sense that maybe they look at your social media, or you feel like you know that they watch your social media, or like they get information about you. There's this feeling of knowing that this person is extremely interested in you and learning about you and finding something out. Um, and it's like you sense that it's because they admire you or are inspired by you. But there's, I don't know if this person feels a sense of shame. They're like, does this person, it's, and with the hunter here, it's almost like there's a feeling of them being inspired by you so much to the sense that you almost feel like they want to devour you, which is kind of crazy. Let's get some more though. I mean, I don't want to be too specific on like the sort of animalistic energy, but maybe you moved away from this person, and it's like they're watching you. Um, yeah. You may be like, this is an interesting energy here. It's like someone is like, it's like you feel like this person is like very focused on you. Like this, I'm wondering if this is even romantic. Like, I don't know, you guys will have to use your intuition to know whether or not, but it could even be like an old friend or something. It's like someone who is like moving in the shadows. Like, um, yeah, definitely in the extended, I want to go into more about like why, like what's their intention, like why are they hunting you? Because they're seeing you, I feel like, as the gem here. Like they're seeing you as something really unique and special. Um, and it's like they want to get to you. But it's like with this strange amount of like focus. It's like, why are they so focused on you? You feel that they're focused on you, but yeah, it's very strange. Anyways, let's get some more. How does pile number 2 think their person is feeling? Okay, we have Gifts to the Portal. The Weight of the Truth. it's like something they're trying to find out here. It's like there's a feeling here of this person, like they see you as, I feel like maybe you've come into the spotlight with the star and the sun here. Maybe you're being celebrated for something right now, or they see you shining in some kind of a way. And it's almost like through your achievements, this person is having a realization about something to do with the relationship with you. It's almost like maybe in the past, maybe this person, you felt that this person underestimated you or undervalued you or underestimated. um Maybe you disappeared from this person's life. Like what I'm kind of getting is I feel like you may have moved away from this person. I'm getting kind of like a scorpionic energy here. But there's also Leo energy, Cancer energy here, Aquarius energy, and Virgo, just to say. But there's a feeling of maybe this person having perceived, this is like from your perspective too, having perceived you in this hermit energy, like maybe for some time you were kind of out of reach from this person, or they didn't hear about you, or they didn't like hear too much. um and it's like, but behind the scenes you were kind of like putting in effort towards your soul mission or towards building a good life for yourself, building a foundation. And it's almost this energy of maybe they found out something, they found out that, yeah, maybe this person like underestimated you and thought that you had been swallowed up by some sort of bad luck, some sort of like wrong turn in your life. They almost thought they wouldn't hear from you again or something like that. Yeah, and so maybe this person in the past, like maybe you like this person, especially if it's romantic. It could also be a friendship thing though. There's a feeling of someone who overlooked you in the past. This is from your perspective. They overlooked you in the past, and they expected you to be quieted, or they didn't expect to see you rise in the way that you've risen. And the way you think they feel, you think that they're seeing how you've risen and how you've transformed and transitioned, how the transition maybe away from this person, or away, yeah, like what recent changes you've made maybe in the past 2 years. You've emerged in this successful sort of you've transmuted the moon's energy into the sun, and you're shining, and this person never expected that, and so now they're like hunting you. Now they're focused on you because they may want to know how you did it, or they may want to learn from you. But the way I'm getting it is almost like sort of an energy where it's like kind of like I would be careful with it, just because there's a feeling here of like a thief energy, an energy of like, oh, this person didn't give you the time of day, maybe when you didn't have a certain amount of foundation or recognition, but now that you're shining and people see that and you're celebrated in a community or something, um, now that they see your sun energy, now they are jealous of it, or they want to come towards you, and they want you, you know what I mean? And it's almost like they didn't see in the past like what you were putting out, and now they're stuck with the weight of that reality of seeing unclearly. And it's like with the Knight of Swords, it's almost like this like pursuit of like them wanting to learn or know how you did it, how you transformed. I feel like you've alchemized a lot of shadow into sun, and I feel like you're just doing well for yourself right now. And so there's a feeling of you feeling like this person is hunting you now because they see something they like now or something like that. Yeah, very strange though. Um, let's get some more. They may have thought you were alone or something. They may have thought that like you isolated yourself, and they may have like projected onto like some hermit energy that you were in. Maybe if you like closed off from a community, or like you kind of went inward, I feel like recently, and this person may have judged that and perceived it as like you being like an outcast, or you like they didn't see that that was you like butterflying and becoming like really radiant. They almost didn't see how the moon and the shadow in you was also this star energy, right? And now it's like they're seeing, they maybe almost didn't even understand like how the shadow element to do with you is one of your strengths, or something that made you very powerful. But it's almost like now that you're in this, they're seeing it's like you're still in this feminine energy that is in feminine strength. But it's like you took time out and this person didn't think of you in that time period, and then you emerged this star and you're crowned and you're celebrated, and they thought you were alone, right? They thought that you were alone, but now that they see you in this star and celebrated energy, they're like all interested in you and they're all trying to figure out what's going on with you. How did you do that? And they're even like projecting the sun energy onto you. It's almost like they think that you maybe, it's like they don't understand how your energy was able to transform into something inspiring and like worth celebrating. Honestly, it's like they only valued their own logic and their own sense of achievement. And so I feel like you've found a way to highlight a different way of achieving, of being celebrated, in a different way of belonging. And now this person almost thinks that you have some sort of superior gift that they like want to, they may want to work with you. Look at that. They may like literally be like waiting for an opportunity to talk with you and like ask you, like get information about you or something like that. Yeah, really interesting. But in that hunter card, it's like, why are you hunting that thing? Yeah, look at this observer, this person. It's like they're seeing you, and look at it. It's like literally the moon. This talks about seeing things from a different perspective. And it's almost like they're looking at the moon and they're seeing this star and they're like seeing this feminine energy or this energy that you had been in from a whole different lens, and they're seeing it from a different perspective, and they almost like don't know how to process it. But what they do know is they feel like they're very like drawn to you now, you know? And this is what you think, by the way. So I'm interested to see like what is going on with them. Feels kind of accurate though. How does pile, you may just be intuitive yourself and understand. Why does pile number two, or why? How does pile number two's person think, no, sorry, how does pile number two think their person is feeling? Or what their energy is? We have new life. Yeah, they're observing you in some sort of a new life, a new, and look at this egg. There's two eggs here. It's like they thought that their egg was really the only egg that was desirable. Like they thought their foundation or their like ethos and who they were, like their like thought system, like their palace, their foundation was the only one that was valid. And like, why would anyone leave that? And so maybe you went into hermit mode and like kind of maybe discarded this relationship or whatever it was. And it's like now they're seeing you've cracked your own egg, your own independent egg. It's like you went independent and now you're like shining like in this butterfly energy, and you've emerged equal, you know? You've hatched your own egg, and now they're like, what? Like, I didn't think you would do that. Like, I didn't think that. I didn't know that you were capable of that. Yeah, building blocks. It's like you built your own foundation. No place like home. Yeah. It's like you didn't there's something here where this person never thought they'd see you succeed, or they never thought they'd see you build a foundation equal, if not as magnificent as their own foundation. Yeah, you've regenerated in a way that really impressed them, and it's like you're going places now. And it's like this person's looking at you like, what? Like, I did not expect that. You know, I did not expect that from pile number two. Yeah, very interesting. Okay. Let's get a couple more and then we'll go into how they're actually feeling about you. This is from your perception. How does pile number two think that their person is thinking about them, feeling? It says, I forgive myself for inviting the experience of suffering by creating attachments to a specific outcome. I choose to believe that although I may have my preferences, life is working to bring me something even greater than I could have imagined. Yeah. For inviting the experience of something by, yeah. It's almost like this person, I feel like this person that like we're talking about here had a very like specific mold for their life, or like they may be very traditional in some way, or they may just like really feel like there's only one way to succeed. And by only one means can you do that. Like this egg is the egg that we have to build, you know? And it's almost like this person is realizing that although I may have my preferences, that way is not the only right way. Like you don't have to suffer by molding yourself into some form of success or form of like self-love that doesn't align with like your soul, even if like other people deem that as successful. And so there's some theme here where you made a home that's authentic to you out away from this person. And it's almost like they don't even know how to deal. So you feel that this person is like kind of grappling with the fact that maybe this person's resentful in a way too, because, or you may perceive that they are, because maybe this person wasn't really happy in what they were doing, but they felt like it was the only way to be successful. And like, maybe you knew that this person wasn't really happy with what they're doing, and then you broke off and brought in your own happiness, and like, you're thriving now. And it's kind of like this energy of like, whoa, like, I didn't expect that this person could go independent and go their own way, and then they could blossom into something that I want to be. Like, I never knew this person had that in them. And it's kind of like, because, and they've suffered through not needing to fit into a mold, even because maybe this person has authentic ideas that they want, you know, maybe they want to break the mold sometimes, but they've been held back. It says, I forgive myself for thinking that I need an apology to validate the way I feel before I'm allowed to move forward. I choose to believe that although my perspective is not shared by all, the way I feel is legitimate, and it is safe to move on without proof. Yeah. And so, yeah, you may have, this person may owe you an apology. This person may literally owe you an apology is kind of what I'm getting. But I feel that you moved on without this person's apology anyways. And you kind of prove them, like, through seeing the weight of the truth is here. This person is realizing that they may owe you an apology, or you think that again. But I do sense that there's quite an accuracy here. All right, so now let's go into what their energy really is like towards their feelings towards you, like how their energy is actually coming through. Like, we'll dig a little bit deeper into their perspective. But I do foresee us just going deeper into what you kind of already know about this, because I do feel like you guys are very intuitive, and like, I think you have a good understanding actually, because I'm tuning into your logic. Your logic is very sound to me. Okay. Just going to get this Oracle deck again. So for pile number 2, what is pile number 2's person? Look at the empty room. I literally feel like that's like the one for them. Yeah, it's like, how do I get what pile 2 has? Like, they're like jealous of you in a way. It's kind of weird. It's like, in the past, they may not have even given you the time of day, but now they're jealous of you. All right, how does pile number 2's person, how are they actually energetically showing up? Okay, we have the shapeshifter, the nectar, the stone, the thread. Yeah, I'm just going to take the top one. Okay, so we have the shapeshifter. I'm going to look really quick at the book just to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. The trickster, the elusive, the formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is a side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need the energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. Okay, so like the opposite, the dark vibe is people-pleasing, trickery. The other side is vibrant, adaptive, humorous. Yeah, okay. So and again, there is this energy of inauthenticity that this person has, and I think it's very central to their relationship with you and the way they relate to you, because I feel that you don't shapeshift, and so this person always maybe thought throughout their life that they had to shapeshift or change themselves to fit a mold, and it may have created suffering throughout their life. But they thought it was like what was necessary in order to succeed or in order to be loved, kind of. And so, yeah, that's kind of revealing that as well. So let's see what else. How is pile number 2's person actually feeling towards them? There's the 9 of Swords. Okay, so they're having a lot of anxiety. They may be like overthinking things like greatly. So there's a lot of distress when they think about you, which probably makes sense to you, honestly, because, you know, maybe you kind of represent a tower moment for this person too. And you may cause them to reflect on the past. They may like feel like very like torn up over like the things that have happened in the past. Maybe the way that they treated you. Yeah, we have the Hangman. This person is seeing things completely differently. And again, I think your energy is very spot on. It's like they're seeing you in this brand new light, and they feel so stupid and like anxious about the way that they interacted with you. And yeah, it's a source of a lot of stress for them. Yeah, the Empress. It's like they literally feel like such a fool for not. Oh my God, I'm literally just hearing the song looking like a fool with my pants on the ground, hat turned sideways. But anyways, this person feels like a fool for not seeing you as the Empress. Like, you're the Empress. This person, and I think you know that. I think you're even being humble. It's like you're the star energy. Like, you're in this energy of like being different, but like you didn't subscribe, I feel like, to a masculine way of succeeding is kind of what I'm getting. And um it's like this person, you know what I'm just like kind of hearing here, or what I'm kind of looking at, like, I'm not gonna lie, that this Empress kind of looks like Hades, like kind of looks like Hades with like the hair and stuff. But like what I'm kind of getting is like it's like they projected negatively onto you falsely. It's like they were kind of labeling you as like, I don't know, like kind of beneath them or beneath like other people, something like that. But they're seeing that completely differently now, though. They're like really waking up to it. And it's very distressing for them. It's really causing them to overthink. We have the Three of Pentacles here. Yeah. And you may have like shared a work environment with this person, a friend group, but it's almost like they didn't value your ideas as equal. Like they almost felt like you needed to subscribe to their knowledge or their way of doing things. And it's like you, it's bringing them anxiety to kind of realize that they would have been better off collaborating with you and treating the different perspective that you come from as an equal, instead of maybe belittling you or belittling your viewpoint, saying it's not going to work. Because I feel like you went off and like proved something, or like you may have proved that your ideas were actually correct. We have the Hermit. How is pile number 2 currently feeling? Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like what an opportunity. You were Knight of Swords. Yeah, so there's a feeling here. I feel like the reason why they are so focused on you is I do feel like they're actually taking some time apart, maybe from some sort of group that they were associated with. They may be like kind of seeing, I don't know, they may have like been a part of, this person may just be prone to like groupthink or like people pleasing, right? This person may have been a part of an organization or like a friend group or like a thought process that's very like homogeneous, conforming. And it's like they're almost seeing this from a new perspective through seeing you and like the way that you are able to be different, independent, and of opportunity, of real value. And so it's like this person maybe is spending more time away from the group think, away from the people pleasing energy. And it's like they're seeing it as brand new because of you. And so they may be looking at you so much, or they may be so focused on you because they genuinely are like, number one, mesmerized. They're surprised. They are inspired. It's a really good thing for this person to come across your energy, because it's really proving to them that everyone doesn't have to have the exact same ideas like for something to be successful. It's like it's almost like this person in the past was like very like, felt like if you didn't conform, like you're a threat and you deserve to be protected on, you deserve to be shown as like not good. But it's almost like this person, it's like they're looking at you in some new opportunity or some like seed you've been planting, and what an opportunity you have been cultivating. And they're really looking at it and they're very, very curious about it. Yeah, they're very curious to learn how you've been doing this. They're curious about you. You're a source of anxiety and inspiration for this person. You're causing them to reflect on their being chained to this energy of shape-shifting to fit the mold, to fit the norm. And you genuinely have challenged the way that they see success, is kind of what I'm hearing. So yeah, take what resonates with that. Yeah, and they may just have been so like with the Knight of Swords, they may be realizing also like how they jumped to conclusions about you. They made a judgment too soon about you. They let their own like sense of like righteousness and entitlement to their ideas overwrite the value of you. And so it's like a reflection of that, and like kind of realizing the wrongs of that. Yeah, look at the slimy. It's like they didn't really want to see you succeed because maybe they felt that you contradicted their energy in some way. Like there's some sort of competition energy that this person feels. Okay, we have laughing and crying. Yeah, remember I just said it's like you're a source of great stress for this person, crying, and inspiration. It's like you're triggering a lot of emotions in this person, and you're triggering realizations that are actually like benefiting this person's like soul, and you're bringing them a spiritual truth that like once they integrate, they're going to be a lot happier, and like they won't have to suffer anymore or mold themselves to it. But they also have to recognize how they may have hurt you and other people by um, being blind in this way, and casting out any belief that wasn't like theirs as wrong and as like bad and other, and so there's almost this like energy where they're being released from this compulsive need to fit in, and this compulsive need to minimize who they are to fit in with the group. But then they're seeing the beauty of it, which is amazing and inspiring to them, but then they're also feeling the sadness of like how they may have influenced you. Yeah, we have hiding here. Yeah. And so you are correct, I feel like, in this person hiding. So I feel like this person, like what you wouldn't expect is like, I feel like this person's like actually like very emotional behind the scenes. And I don't think like they let you see that. But I feel like this person can even be like in emotional shambles when they kind of like come into this truth. And so I guess like something like Spirit almost like wants me to clarify is like, you may view this person as like very, kind of like not aggressive, but you may like wonder if this person's kind of like heartless. Like, is this person just like heartless? And it's like it's kind of coming through that they're not. And they're kind of actually doing good in seeing and looking at something very truthfully with the Hangman. Like they're actually getting in touch with their inner self, and they're almost integrating their own hermit energy, right? Because they kind of criticize you for your hermit energy, didn't see the value of it, always wanted to be with the group, right? But now they're being forced to flip flop and see it from your perspective, and see the value in it, and see the value in the Empress energy as well. And so it's actually really difficult for them. It's a really difficult lesson, and they're actually very emotional. And the reason why you're very correct in the fact that they're hiding because they don't really feel comfortable with feeling all this emotion. And they also, yeah, I'm going to read the hiding one to you because it kept coming through. Like, why is this person like hiding? Like what, like, why are they in the shadows? Like, it says hiding. Are we hiding because we're crying, or are we crying because we're hiding? Feeling fragile and emotional can bring one of the most intense feelings of shame. Why do we hide our face? Everyone gets sad, everyone cries, everyone feels vulnerable. There needs to be no shame here, but I understand because I hide too. Sometimes you just don't want to see anyone or the world around you. Maybe it has all become too loud and too much. It's perfectly fine to hide away in your feelings, in yourself, until things feel safe again. And so that's like the energy this person's in. I think they're processing a lot of emotions that maybe have been uprooted by like observing you and like kind of realizing the truth of like maybe like almost having a tower moment within themselves. And like it's almost like this truth has been like so good for this person, and it's like they're taking time to just sit with themselves, and so it's actually healthy, but I feel like this person has really needed this lesson, and like they're doing what they're supposed to do is what I'm kind of hearing. It's like this was all very much like divinely orchestrated for this person to tap into their emotional state. And the Empress is here also because I feel like they're realizing like the opportunity to be more in touch with their emotions and their feminine side. They're getting a whole new perspective on literally the feminine energy, and not tearing it down, and they're addressing their own feminine energy within themselves, because maybe that was something that they kind of like targeted you for or didn't respect you for, like your feminine energy, and it was a reflection of how they felt about their own feminine energy. And they maybe, again, like I got like they, and I feel like this because it came through what you think is like they almost projected onto you needing to have like the masculine energy to be accomplished. And I think this person has really hurt themselves and denied themselves by, maybe they've always felt like they can't feel. This person maybe has an issue with sort of burying their feelings down, to not upset the group, or not, they'll be inauthentic with their feelings because they'll value like being masculine or being like in control or like conforming to the group over being authentic and like honoring their feelings. So there's just a feeling here of this person really waking up to that, and it actually being a beautiful opportunity for them. It's an opportunity for them to integrate their feminine energy. And yeah, it's been very anxious for them though, because there's just such a feeling of like distress here with the laughing and crying, and then the Nine of Swords. And yeah, and you know what, this person also may be dealing with, I don't know, like having their own time period of isolation. It's almost like maybe they like thought you disappeared off the like Earth for a time period, and they were just kind of living their day-to-day life, but it's almost like now this person's disappearing off the earth, and so they're kind of seeing the value in it, and it's kind of causing them, everything's flip-flopping for this person in a very good way, like they really need this, is kind of what I'm getting. Let's see what else we get. How is pile number 2 currently feeling? Look at that, orphaned in community. It's almost like they're learning to, like, this person maybe has had to deal with wounds around like abandonment or like fear of abandonment or rejection, like so strong that like they've definitely put like the values of like the community or like fitting in with the community, shape-shifting with the community above their individual expression, just so they're not abandoned. But like, look at this why. They're kind of starting to see that about them. And this is the shadow element that this person has regarding themselves. Literally, we have Y in building blocks, but I'm just gonna, I didn't like the way this came out, so. Yeah, and I'm seeing poised in Y too. This person's really questioning, like, why do they feel like they always have to put on a happy face or they always have to be okay? And they're just kind of realizing how much they've like denied themselves and betrayed themselves by denying and betraying their feminine energy. And so not only are they thinking about how they may have hurt you, they're really also aware of how they've hurt themselves. Yeah, truth be told, they're really seeing the truth of themselves, and it's really hard for this person. It's like the mask is kind of coming off here, and so they're really seeing the truth of this relationship, and this truth is really shaking this person. I want to read the thing. I love this message. I've read it so many times, but I just want to read it to you guys. Okay. It says, people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card is opening you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based on your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back, speak your truth, and listen. It's like there's been such an energy of this person holding back who they are and holding back their feminine energy. And it's almost like this person is seeing how that's been so destructive for them. It says there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of an inherent believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. Like, this is totally the energy. It's like this person is seeing how like their own denial of themselves and the need to fit in and the need to like deny their own emotional truth has been super harmful. And this person may have even, when it comes to truth, they may have felt that their subjective truth overrid yours, and now they're seeing the essence of the real truth, which is that your truth was also valid and their truth is valid too. And they're letting go of this like idea of like needing to make anything that doesn't go within their own belief as other, and that should be persecuted, and instead honoring differences in, again, like differences in belief and authenticity. It's like what this person is realizing is that yes, you get to have that like moment where you feel like you're in the in crowd and you get that sense of belonging, but you don't see that the more you belong to a group, the more you have to conform to, the more you have to let go of your own authenticity. And like, there's a balance, obviously, that's like important, and we are social creatures, and I don't want to stress that, but I feel like there are a lot of disordered groups. Like, for example, like think about like Nazi Germany. This is like when that goes way, way, way too far, right? Like, they're literally trying to annihilate an entire other race instead of just like accepting the other race and still honoring your own. Like, you can still have pride and happiness within what your beliefs are, but it doesn't mean you need to literally annihilate the other, right? And so I feel like this person is recognizing that maybe they live too far in the other spectrum of denying their own authentic truth, and through also belittling other people, they're realizing that they belittled themselves. And it's a really difficult truth that I think this person is coming into right now through knowing you. We have to the sea. And I'm getting that this person feels like they're kind of trying to repair their own emotional state right now in this Hermit and the Hangman. And I do think they are planning, or they want to come towards you. Yeah, look at this. We have by the book. This person has always felt like they've had to go by the book. But with this peace here, what I'm getting is they are finding a sense of peace in maybe repairing the damage that an overly traditional or an overly conformist mentality or society, family, work environment, relationships has damaged them. And they're trying to find peace right now, I think. And I think that I think they also want to make peace with you. I think that they want to right their wrongs. They're really learning how their own traditional mindset has really been corrosive, and they want to bring more peace and harmony to this relationship and to you. And I think that is one of their intentions here. Yeah, all that glitters. They're seeing through kind of the BS, right? And they're kind of learning that, yeah, they're learning valuable lessons, I would say, about authenticity, honoring emotions, honoring self, honoring differences, not belittling others, respecting other people's point of views. Yeah, things like that. I think that this person is kind of going through right now. It's almost like by the book, the reverse meaning. I'm going to read it because it's good. 11. Let me just read it really quick. It's a short one. So in reverse, it says, now is the time for a real change in consciousness as you are incited to revolt. Challenge the structures that are limiting authentic progress. It is not enough to rebel in a small way. This is a call to revolution. Focus on what you really want to achieve, regardless of whether it feels so far outside the box that established order may reject it. Genius, invention, and transformation are rarely comfortable and less likely to be accepted by mainstream. It may be time for you to say no to the way of your group, take a stand, and make real changes. It could be that the structure of your inner world is altering you to the need for a complete overhaul. And I do feel like this person is isolating themselves from that group, and they may even be trying to follow in your footsteps in a way. A time for transformation, so let go of the fear of change. Your intuition will lead you through darkness. There is no turning back now. Trust that the light will dawn. Epiphanies will surely lead to miracles. And so I feel like this person, I think they are wanting to shift away from some place that they are, but they're really wanting to find peace and make peace with this issue that they have going on, because I think this person's world has been a little bit rocked, honestly. And I feel like they just can't really go back to the same group that they've been in, because it's like they've seen the truth of it, and they've also felt the pain of like realizing that they were a part of that, and that the same pain that they've caused themselves, they've caused others. And so it's something that I really do think this person is getting a new perspective on and wanting to change. And they're seeing you create this new opportunity too. How is pile number 2's person feeling here? What are they learning? It says, oh, this is sad, or kind of. It says, I forgive myself for thinking that no one cares to hear what I have to say. And so, yeah, I feel like this person has really like dimmed their voice or held back on like saying like how they actually feel. And like this could even have come from like childhood. Like maybe this person, like they maybe had a family where like conformity was like way more valued than like speaking out, or they may have been punished for that. So they may have had an early influence where they felt a fear of abandonment if they were going to speak authentically and differently. And they may have even taken on the role of like that persecution energy that they experience. And so then maybe they caught themselves doing that to others. And it's like obviously really sad when you realize that you've been really hurt by sort of toxic energy and then you've embodied it. Like that's one of the worst feelings when you realize that. But it says, I choose to believe that I have within me a powerful innate wisdom, and I am capable of creating loving impact through both my words and actions. And so this person is actually becoming more empowered independently, and not always needing the group to feel empowered. It says, I forgive myself for allowing my fear of failure keep me from showing up with full presence and enthusiasm. I choose to believe that I'm doing the best I can every moment, and my efforts are valuable irrespective of the outcome. Yeah. And so this person maybe has like always had like a strong chip on their shoulder where they feel such a strong, like they only feel like they're lovable if they succeed. Like this person feels like they've been afraid to go away from maybe like what their parents wanted for them, or like what society says is like good, because this person relies so much on the external environment or like society, like the people around them, to show them their sense of self, and like their sense of achievement literally function. They are letting go of being codependent with their literally like successes, or like being accepted by the group, getting honors, getting promotions. It's like this person really put their sense of self in acceptance from the group, and they're realizing how harmful and limiting it has been for them. And they're realizing just how much they've denied themselves of true, authentic expression as well. I forgive myself for being ashamed of the ways in which I've showed up and behaved in the past. And yeah, this person, again, like that was the first thing, literally looking like a fool with my pants on the ground. This person is working through a lot of guilt and shame for the way that they treated you, and the way that, the way they behaved. And so this person is really trying to work through that right now. And I feel like this person would need to hear that. The best thing, all we can do as humans is look at our shadow and like accept it and forgive ourselves. And this person does deserve to forgive themselves. Doesn't mean that what the way they made you feel was okay, but like they're kind of in this process of seeing the truth of it, which is at least better than being committed to remaining ignorant, kind of. So it says, I choose to believe that when I accept all aspects of my being, I find greater acceptance of others, creating the possibility for even deeper connection. That's exactly like what I'm getting, is like this person's so hard on themselves. And I feel like they're really critical of themselves, but they're also really critical of other people. And I think this person was like super critical of you potentially. And it's almost like, because they aren't really accepting of their own emotions and their own self, there was no way for them to be accepting of you and your differences and maybe your authenticity that you brought to the table. Maybe you're very authentic to this person, and they may have rejected you for that because they don't respect their own. They feel shame about their emotions. They feel shame about their own expressions of vulnerability. And so this person is working through shame around emotions and shame around being authentic and expressing your emotions authentically. And yeah, it's like they're just having a lot of realizations of how they've been culturated, or they've been like raised almost to feel shame about authentic emotional expression and how painful that is. But they're getting a new perspective on it. And this person has a lot of deep wounds that are pretty sad, like to feel, you know what I mean? Like there's a feeling here of just like a deep sense of guilt and sadness that they're really trying to work through. And it's a battle for this person to not like kind of look at their shadow and then even feel worse and worse and worse about it. It's like this person really needs like a good mothering, accepting energy within them, where they say it's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to have made mistakes in the past. You're still lovable. I still love myself, and like that's a very feminine energy. It's like being receptive to forgiveness and accepting emotions, just accepting it. There's no need to do anything besides that. You don't have to do anything about it. Just accept it. And then that will open the door to moving forward and being able to connect more deeply with people, and then connect more deeply with yourself, You got a sip of water. That's what I have so far for the extended reading. Wow, I'm like sad. Honestly, I'm like really sad leaving this reading, just because I understand like this emotion, and yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just in their emotional field, and trust me, it's very sad. It's very remorseful, I would say. So I want to look at what this person, I want to look at what's going to happen next in the connection. Like I might do the same reading that I did for pile 1. I'm going to look at what your next interaction with this person is going to be like, from both perspectives. I'm going to do person A and person B, and we're going to look at like what the energy exchange is going to be next time you guys do interact, and what's going to come out of that interaction. So if that sounds interesting for you, I'll have it linked down below. If you're leaving me here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate connecting with your energy. If it did resonate, make sure you like this video, leave a comment. I love to see what you guys thought of the readings, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading. And I hope to connect with you sometime soon. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. If you picked the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot, then this is going to be your reading, where we're going to be looking at how you think your person is feeling about you versus how they are actually feeling about you. We will be doing an extended reading as well. If you feel like this reading is resonating, you can check it out. We're going to be looking into what the energy exchange is going to be during your next interaction, and where the connection is headed in the future. I'll have it linked down below. But for today, we are going to start with how you think your person is feeling about you, And that can serve as an energy check-in as well, to help you figure out intuitively whether or not you feel like this is your pile. So I did pre-pull a couple of oracle cards, and this is representing how you are subjectively viewing your person right now. So we have the underworld and the dead end coming out. I'm going to use those and probably elaborate more on them once we get some tarot out. So I'm ready to get started. So Spirit, how is pile number 3 thinking that their person is feeling about them? How's pile number 3 thinking their person is feeling towards them? We have the Page of Swords, the Hierophant, the Two of Cups, the Five of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Six of Swords at the back of the deck. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting because I feel like I was getting something not similar necessarily for pile number 1, but this is, again, feeling like the energy could be flipped for some of you guys. So some of you guys here may be asking about someone, and for some of you, this reading is actually going to reflect more how your person thinks you're feeling about them, because, you know, when the reading kind of flip-flops sometimes, that's how it's kind of feeling. So what I'm picking up on is the person that's asking about this energy feels like a more masculine energy. And so the energy I feel like we're subjectively looking at is through a masculine eye looking at a more feminine energy. So if you identify with a more feminine energy, this may be like a flip-flop pile where this is actually how your person is perceiving that you feel about them. But just take what resonates. I just want to say that because I did notice that happened too for pile number 1. So the way that you are subjectively viewing your person, the first thing that came through is, especially with the dead end and the underworld, there's a feeling of honest assessment, you feeling that your person, especially with the Queen of Swords here, is really cutting through any confusion that may have clouded their vision towards you. So you feel like your person is in this energy of discernment regarding your connection. You feel like your person is seeking out information with this Page of Swords, especially with the Hierophant coming out. There's a feeling of you thinking that your person is trying to get guidance on you. And yeah, you kind of feel like your person is trying to go to the depths of the relationship. You may have even felt like your person maybe in the past always looked at the brighter side of you, or you may have felt that this person was maybe sometimes blinded by their romantic feelings towards you. But it almost feels like you feel like there's a moment of truth kind of being revealed where this person is maybe feeling, you think that your person is feeling like maybe their emotional attachment to you, or their love for you has blinded an essence of being selfish. And so you may feel like your person is thinking or discovering that they feel that you have more selfish motives towards them than they originally thought. Because with this Queen of Swords and the Five of Swords, there's a feeling here of sword energy rivaling with water energy. Yeah, we also have Taurus energy here, by the way, with the Hierophant. But yeah, there's just a feeling of cutting through emotional distraction and so you can get guidance on the truth of the connection. And so you feel like your person may be seeing you in a new light and potentially, yeah, look at Justice underneath, moving on. And so this kind of reminds me of pile number 1, but there's a feeling of you thinking that this person is moving away from you. Again, you could be the person moving away from this. I hope that makes sense, that you might need to flip-flop the energy. But yeah, there's a feeling here of, although you feel like your person feels love for you, feels a sense of a soulmate relationship, feels a kinship with you, you kind of feel like this is being assessed honestly. and anything that doesn't sit right with them is kind of coming to the light. And in the past, where they may have, again, overlooked certain like red flags, things like that, maybe even you feel like this person is really getting curious about your motives towards them, or your person, you feel like your person is getting more and more curious and getting more and more information about your actual intentions towards them. And there's a feeling here of trying to get guidance and trying to piece together a puzzle or try to come to a conclusion with the dead end. And with the underworld here, there's a feeling of you feeling like whatever this person maybe ignored, like maybe you benefited from this person ignoring like negative aspects of this relationships or shadow aspects. It's like you feel like this person can no longer ignore them because there's a dead end moment. And so it's almost like you feel like your person, although there's a lot of love and there has been in the past, it's almost like they are taking guidance from a higher source and recognizing that the universe is kind of like, this is a dead end. We need you to step into your discernment energy because you need to see how this person hasn't really been looking out for you. And so it kind of makes me feel like you may be aware that you've held back emotions towards this person. You maybe have seen this person in the past as maybe this person's declared their love for you, or they've always kind of been there and kind of been this like supportive energy towards you. And so maybe you accidentally took this person for granted, and now but it feels like you are aware that now they're moving away. Again, this reminds me a lot of pile number 1, so you might want to check that one out too. Yeah, I'm gonna get some more oracle cards. How does pile number 3 think that their person is feeling towards them? Yeah, it's like a lot is coming up or getting uncovered. You may even feel like your person like found something out about you, or it's like you feel like your person is seeing you more clearly. And I almost feel like it's a sense of like rose tinted glasses coming off towards you, and you feel that your person's moving away because of this. Yeah, we have North Node future. Yeah, it's almost like this person, you feel like your person is moving in a different direction towards their future. And I also got that with the 10 of Cups here. Yeah, there's a judgment on this person maybe feeling that what would be just in this situation is them moving away and working towards fulfillment from another source. And I think you may be becoming aware of that. Yeah, it's like this person standing up for themselves. And maybe they're processing some sort of heartbreak that maybe has come from disillusionment in this relationship. Maybe in the past you weren't very open about your emotions. You weren't very open about what you wanted for the future with this person, and that may have really hurt them. And I feel like you're aware of this, or you're becoming aware of this because this person's moving away. But yeah, you feel like your person is thinking about the future and strategizing it and wanting to move forward towards a better future. And so you almost kind of know that this person is maybe considering a future in a different direction. Yeah, we have Cancer here as well. And Cancer also represents like the Chariot as well. And I'm not surprised to see Venus at the back of the deck because there's a very strong, like Taurus is here too, like, and that's ruled by Venus. And so there's this energy of like your person being a very strong romantic, being maybe very passionate, like carried away sometimes by their emotions and like especially within love. And so you perceived your person that way. But it's almost like with Cancer, it's like maybe this person's really held on to you, but there's a feeling here of now this person, you know how Cancer, being the crab, it's like it can be very open and nurturing and connected, but like when its protection is up, like it's strong and it has that hard shell and those like the clippers and stuff. And so I feel like your person, maybe you've gotten on the wrong side of your person, or this more romantic, watery energy that they usually bring towards you is turning a little bit colder, and the shell is coming up in order to move towards a better future. Because you feel like your person feels that there's nothing else. They can no longer ignore the fact that there's no progress being made, or with the dead end here, there's just really nothing, that can be done. So yeah, you feel like your person is acknowledging maybe the shadow element that they haven't wanted to acknowledge within this relationship. And they're making a very clear judgment call that's coming from logic. And it's almost rivaling their usual passionate Venetian energy. And they're not ignoring the facts, they're kind of feeling, yeah, they're taking into account the logic of this relationship, and you feel like they're kind of moving away because of that with the Six of Swords. How else do you think your person is feeling towards you in the relationship? Yeah, look at that. Not for you. Like maybe in the past, this person ignored red flags or ignored signs of, honestly, it's weird to speak about it this way because there's just a feeling of, it's interesting that you would know this about them is what's kind of like intriguing to me at least. And so it makes me just want to go into your feelings about it too. But with this not for you, again, there's just this feeling of this person recognizing maybe where they overlooked this energy of like, maybe in the past they kept putting effort in or they kept like waiting or allowing themselves to have some sort of like a fantasy where even though there were blatant signs of like maybe you not really, you know, taking them into account and not really being balanced within the relationship, it's like it's coming up for them. It's like there's no more pushing forward in this situation. I want to read the not for you because it has a very clear message. It says, don't chase after what flees from you. Don't obsess over what eludes you. Don't bang your head against the wall. There's nothing romantic about what is unavailable. And again, you're perceiving your person. And some of you guys are going to be this person that's like kind of going through this and learning this. And someone who may have been very romantic and have been maybe chasing this person who's asking the question. And you may be kind of wising up to it and kind of like realizing that maybe this like passionate energy is kind of leading you into a dead end, and it's kind of time to recognize it's a dead end, but your person is aware of that if I'm speaking to the person who's going through this. But anyways, I'm going to keep speaking on this book definition because it's good. It says there's nothing romantic about what's unavailable, you know, the dead end. There's nothing, you know, at some point there's no prize for continuing to put effort into something that isn't giving you any return. Yeah, it says, and nothing to be gained by refusing to see the red flags that have been waving at you since you began your pursuit. Now is the time to walk away. There are other goals, other loves, other games, other successes waiting for you. The way out of obsessing is radical acceptance and surrender. Spirit wants only the best for you, and this is a sign that you have something much better for you. Trust. And yeah, and so you're kind of recognizing that your person is kind of done putting in all of that effort because they're thinking about their future and they're like ready to hop on and move forward. Yeah. Let's get another one of these. How do you think your person is feeling? Yeah, change in the wind. It's like you feel like your person is really changing up, direction, and as to where they maybe were very attached to, it's almost like they're releasing that energy. And yeah, we have an unfinished symphony in reverse. Kind of this recognition that at this point, there's nothing else that you can do. Like there's no more effort that can be put in from this person's end. And so they're deciding, they're opting to leave it in this unfinished energy. And even if there's like a desire for closure in the connection, there's almost an energy of just letting it be this way. Yeah, it says, when unfinished business casts a shadow over your life, it is a reminder that procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It is not in your best interest to stall. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. Just tie up any loose ends and deliver the results. Don't quit before the finish line. Spirit wants you to win. Yeah, and so there's kind of just this energy of you know, changing course and moving through with it, as difficult as it is. So I feel like if you guys are the people that are actually, we're talking about you in this reading, like I feel like you are having to say goodbye to something that you definitely romanticize and that you still have love for this person. But and we'll go into like how you're actually feeling, or if you're asking the question, how they're actually feeling. But yeah, this is a beautiful energy. And I do feel like if you are the listener and this is your person that we're talking about here, it's like, I feel like this is meant to serve as a lesson for you. And it's meant to catalyze a sort of reflection process on this relationship for you as well. Yeah, I feel pretty clear on this. So I'm going to just get into now how pile number 3's person is actually feeling about you. What energy is pile number 3's person actually in? Again, you could literally be that person. For a lot of you, you are. All right, Spirit, can you please pull us out a card that's going to represent how pile number 3's person is actually feeling here. How's pile number 3? What energy actually can represent how pile number 3, what their energy is like? We have the kiss. Then the prayer also at the back of the deck. I'm going to read a little bit of it. If you want to skip it, you totally can. But I just am still learning some of these cards, so this is definitely one that I haven't read in a while, so I want to pull it up. Just got to find it. The kiss, the kiss. Okay, the touch, the chemistry. Okay. Before a first kiss, the air is electrified. Each breath is alive with the possibility of magic. What will the lips be like, their tongue? Do you want me in return? The archetypal energy of the kiss is a heightened sensation of merging with other, of letting in what was moments ago separate, two becoming one. It is risky but beautiful business. Moments forever change us as we move past the solitary self towards union and acceptance. This card suggests true intimacy is around the corner, which requires bravery and surrender. When the kiss takes a non-human form, it may be experienced as touching the sacred, hearing a whisper, being graced by a divine being. You'll recognize the presence of the kiss by cold chills and awakening of the heart. Sensual expressiveness, merging, inviting. Okay, cool. We'll see how that fits in here to how pile number 3 is actually feeling, but I'm not surprised to see that for their energy because your person is coming through with a lot of like Venus influence. Yeah. All right, how is pile number 3 actually feeling right now towards this connection? How's pile number 3, this person actually feeling right now? The 9 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. Yeah, like they're reaching the end of the road on a spiritual journey, on a spiritual lesson. They've learned lessons, they've been hurt, and they're having to figure out how to move forward. Yeah, 9 of Swords. They're experiencing a lot of confusion, honestly, and pain and sadness, and they're working on not letting themselves get too far into their head right now, actually. So maybe you are projecting onto this person that they're more confident in their decisions and maybe more protective or disappointed in you. But what I'm kind of getting is that they're actually still struggling to piece out the situation. They're feeling wounded and feeling defensive, and they're trying to find the path forward right now, but they're still actually struggling maybe with like self-limiting beliefs or nightmarish thoughts about the situation. They're kind of getting in their own head, and they're struggling to not do that. We have the 6 of Wands in reverse. We have the 5 of Swords. How are they actually feeling? The Knight of Swords as well. Yeah, and there's this energy, Queen of Wands, at the back of the deck. It's like there's this energy. I'm getting a sense of shame. I just want to say, like, I feel like this person is like actually working through feelings of shame, and there's also this energy here where they like don't. I feel like this person doesn't know whether or not like there's bad blood between you two. Like there's a feeling of them being very confused. This person may feel like, okay, this is what I'm getting from your person. They may struggle sometimes with black or white thinking here is kind of what I'm recognizing, because there's a feeling here of them, like, I'm trying to put this into words, but it's a feeling of they almost feel like they can't love you and see you as, it's almost like if they see a more selfish energy, if they're projecting more selfish energy onto you, it's something that brings them a lot of anxiety and stress. And it's almost like they're overthinking it. And maybe they're even like rethinking like the past. And like they may even have like somewhat of a distortion around you too, is kind of what I'm getting. And it has to do with this person's confidence here. Yeah, Queen of Cups. It's like this person has a tendency to flip back and forth and not know whether or not they are the one that was wrong in the situation or you were the one. And there's kind of an energy of this person struggling to move forward because they can't figure out whether or not, it's like, should I hate you? It's like they're having a hard time seeing you as a multi-dimensional being. This is something I struggle with as well. So I understand this. It's like, there's a feeling here of this person being all or nothing, where maybe that was like something that was wrong in the past, where like maybe this person like put in a lot of energy towards you because they were all or nothing. And so they saw you as like all good and like they were all in, and felt a really strong sense of love towards you. And so it's like this person is having a hard time letting go, because it's like they almost are flipping back and forth between either seeing you as like really good and then they still want to chase you, or seeing you as really bad and like feeling really upset and like kind of distorting the past and seeing it in a more negative light than they have to. And with the Knight of Swords here, it's almost like they feel like they have to find a solution, or like they need to find the answer to this relationship or to what was true. But I think they're kind of like distorting things in their own mind, because it's kind of like scaring them a little bit when they go into this all or nothing thinking. And I hope that makes sense. It's like this person is feeling a little bit defensive, and because they're feeling defensive, it's I'm getting an interesting energy. It's like this has a lot to do with this person needing to learn to be confident in their own perception and understand that there isn't this like it's like this person is very afraid of having like the sheets pulled from underneath them, or this person may have had wounds in the past where they were very close with someone that would be nice, and then all of a sudden they would flip into being a different person. And so I think this person has a wound around like inconsistent parenting, or people like believing in people's good side, and then suddenly like they end up taking advantage of them, or they betray them and do something horrible. And so this person seems to have wounds around betrayal, and because of that, they have a hard time seeing people really clearly. And so I almost feel like when it comes to you, there is this energy of distortion, because they're having a hard time piecing together whether or not it's like either they're the one that needs to be condemned and like they're the one in the wrong, or you're the one in the wrong and they're the one in the right. It's almost like they're having a hard time seeing the situation multifaceted, which I understand. Again, I understand. So I want to look back at the kiss card, because it's like, yeah, there's like a feeling here of like, what am I hearing? Kiss me, now you got a something, or it's like a love fight thing. It's like a energy of needing to like something about their confidence feels like it's like wrapped up in understanding who you are. And I think what this person needs to realize is no matter like how you felt about the relationship with them, it really shouldn't have such a direct link to how confident this person feels about like their own morals. And I feel like what this person needs to know is like, they know their own intentions in this situation, and like that's what they should focus on more, rather than trying to figure out how the intentions of another person influences their own truth. And I hope that makes sense. There's a feeling here of not knowing how to move forward, not being able to move forward until they can figure out who was in the wrong, or who was being selfish. Like there's this energy of them going back and forth. Was I the selfish one, or were they the selfish one? Am I selfish because I chased this person? Or are they selfish because they never told me how they feel and they never like wanted a future with me? Like, who's the selfish one? And I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, and a need to understand that. I think that this relationship may have a wound mirroring essence to it, where it's really triggering, maybe even for both of you guys, because yeah, it may just be something to do with this person's like solar plexus energy. And then I feel like for you, this person may be triggering because they may be very emotional and like not really be afraid of like voicing their emotions, and like being open and intimate is kind of what I'm getting with the kiss too. But there's something of like an immature sort of, there's like maturity needed potentially on both of your guys' side to understand that all or nothing thinking is going to cause more stress and less clarity. And so like with the Knight of Swords here, like sometimes the Knight of Swords can really just jump to conclusions. And so I feel like this person is struggling with jumping to conclusions, but then like having anxiety about the conclusions they're jumping to. And then I feel like they kind of go around in a circle trying to figure out the situation. Yeah. And it's like, how do I have victory in this situation? There's Capricorn. It's like they're trying to be realistic about the relationship, but like that may be something that causes them to face like shadow elements within their self, because maybe like what I'm kind of getting is that this person may have wounds around projecting goodness onto other people as a way of not having to deal with certain shadow elements within themselves. Like maybe this person has a fear of yeah, we have structure here as well. It's like maybe this person kind of struggles with their masculine energy, or struggles with when it comes time to like ground something, or like not be romantic. Does that make sense? Or not kind of make things all like Neptunian energy, where it's very like unclear. And you kind of, I feel like Saturn and Neptune, it's like they're very different energies. Like Saturn is very structured and like clear cut and decisive, and I feel like the energy that this person really holds on to, I feel like they may one of this person's shadow elements could be that they aren't very comfortable being in that decisive energy, and being in that energy where there isn't any like magic to the situation. It's just like it is what it is. And so I feel like this person is learning how to bring in a more practical and grounded approach to like their relationships, but they're just kind of struggling to integrate it right now. And so if this is you, that could be what you're going through, or if this is your person, then you'll know, but just decide what it is for you. But this person is maybe is even having a distortion around maybe, especially if you're someone like that has more masculine energy, this person may demonize more masculine energy without realizing that they do that. Like they may think that any form of self-protection, or not really being intimate and open with the other person, it is actually like very like narcissistic and evil. It's like this person may suppress that so much in themselves that they really see it as an evilness in other. And so there could be a part of them where it's like they can't get to the truth of the situation, because maybe they keep projecting onto you that you're very selfish or something like that. But then they don't feel that that's true, and it kind of like ignores or kind of runs in with their intuition. And so there's a real chaos in trying to figure out the truth. But I think where this person's solution would lie, it would be in making peace with their own masculine energy, and learning to respect masculine energy as not being evil or terrible, or there's no need to suppress that. And the more they can see that within themselves, the more they can see you more clearly, and then the more they can see themselves more clearly. But yeah, it could be one of those situations where this person had more feminine energy and suppressed their masculine energy. That would look like someone feeling bad about putting in boundaries, or bad about thinking about themselves instead of other people. Like this could be someone who's always very relationship oriented and very much defines themselves based on being caring towards other people. And you just may be very much the opposite of that. And that doesn't make you like evil or really bad or something. But through this person's perception, they may not have a healthy relationship with their masculine energy. So it kind of distorts how they see you. But I can see that this person's really trying to piece it together, and they're trying to integrate their Saturn energy. Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to create more sustainable relationships, and how to not get overtaken, how to balance out their feminine energy, or their energy that's very like Venusian as well, with practicality without demonizing practicality. I hope that makes sense. Without just for seeing the situation for what it is. And I think the more this person is able to integrate their masculine energy and learn how to make sure that the more that they can see that there's a really important use for being self-protective, and making sure that like within a dynamic, you're getting what you need from it. And not seeing that as selfish, and realizing that there is no obligation when you are in a relationship with someone. There's no strong obligation to be everything that person needs. And I feel like this person has maybe in the past very much sacrificed their own needs for other people, and that might be where they got their identity really. And so now I think they're just doing shadow work right now to regain their confidence energy and their solar plexus energy, so they can regain their confidence and what they should do moving forward. And then they can also look back retroactively and see maybe where they may have been very offended by things you did, or maybe very hurt by you, when maybe that isn't something that was completely warranted or valid, is what I would say. And so I think this person's really working on that right now. And I think they're very confused, and I think they're in their head. And I think they're trying to make sense of everything that's gone on in the past. And I think they're really working on their confidence and working on understanding that their sense of self and validity doesn't need to come from understanding your intentions and how you feel about them, because I feel like there's an energy here where this person maybe doesn't think that they can get closure, or doesn't think that they can make a decision moving forward until they understand, like, definitely, like, what your intentions were. But I think the point this person is missing is that they don't need that. Like, they don't, that's actually showing a wound within them, that they feel that they have to know the other person's intentions to feel valid within themselves to make a decision moving forward. And I think this person's lesson right now is figuring out, also, like, making a plan forward, realizing that it's not selfish. I feel like they have this distorted view on the Five of Swords energy. Like, there's a way of, like, looking out for yourself, and maybe that doesn't include, like, benefiting other people, where it's still not in this Five of Swords energy. It's more like the Seven of Wands energy, where you like know what you're defending. You defend yourself. You defend, like, your position. You defend your solar plexus energy, which, like, for me comes through in the Six of Wands. It's like it goes Six of Wands, Seven of Wands. The Six of Wands is all about, like, confidence and success and movement forward and victory. And it's like the Seven of Wands is being confident in your ability to achieve. Look at that, achieve with Capricorn. I literally said that before looking at it. To achieve and to keep going, and to recognize that being in the Seven of Wands energy is very different than the Five of Swords energy. And maybe even in the past, they dictated that you were in the Five of Swords energy when you were actually in the Seven of Wands energy, meaning that you were rightfully defending your boundaries or your opinions or something. And maybe this person felt that you were very selfish, or felt that you didn't care about them because you had boundaries or something like that. But it's kind of, yeah, it's like this person is kind of realizing about that. But I think right now it's kind of difficult. And so if this is you, I think this is something that you could be going through too. And it may be helpful to kind of, first off, I feel like stop putting so much pressure on yourself to understand, because I feel like what you're needing to see is something that's difficult for you to see. And I feel like there's a strong need to be, like, nice to yourself right now while you're trying to figure this out, and recognize that you will understand the more that you can be honest with yourself, and recognize that it's possible that there were moments in this relationship where maybe you were technically in the wrong, and then maybe there were moments where this person was technically in the wrong, and maybe sometimes each of you were in the right, and kind of letting there be a more fluid and more complex and multidimensional explanation for what's happened here. But I think what makes this so confusing reflects a shadow element or a wound that hides the truth, or hides your ability to really, like, see things clearly, or their ability. Just want to get this more straight. But yeah, it's like this energy of this person just coming from very good intentions, but struggling to see where maybe there is an imbalance here in regards to masculine and feminine energy. So speaking of that, I want to get some of these cards that look at that. If I have it right next to me, I thought I did. All right, let's have a look at these masculine and feminine cards and see kind of what energies are relevant to pile three's person. Like, what are they trying to figure out right now, or what's this energy? Because I just want to go a little deeper into how they're feeling towards you. And it also may be very confusing for you to understand this person, because I feel like you guys are semi and polar opposite energies, and there just may be a lot of confusion between the two of you due to not having, like, the same viewpoint, or the same, like, orientation towards energy is kind of what I'm getting. Hope that makes sense. All right, so for pile number three's person, what energies are relevant that they're kind of trying to figure out? It says, I forgive myself for giving my power away by thinking that others are more capable than I am. I choose to believe that I always have access to innate wisdom that will guide me to the knowledge and resources I need to create what I desire. Yeah, and so again, giving my power away for thinking others are more capable than I am. Yeah, there's an energy of this person selling themselves short, or kind of being dependent on other people's opinion to feel valid. So it's like I feel like for this person, it's like they may have given you a lot of power over them, or they may have just felt like whatever you thought about the situation is the truth, and they may like keep fighting with themselves and being like, but no, like it's like they go from this black and white thinking to thinking that whatever you thought about it is completely true, and then they flip flop and they give away their power by doing that. And so a lot of this is about like understanding that in a dynamic, like what they felt about the situation is valid and it's half of the truth, right? Every dynamic always brings in half of the truth, and I think this person has a tendency to let other people's truths be more powerful and true than their own truth. And so I think it's like a kind of black hole that this person can fall into. Yes, literally, for allowing others to define who I am and who I am to become. Again and again, it's like, it's almost like until they understand your perspective and like something like that, it's almost like they don't know how to move forward. But I think what this person is learning is that they do know, just by understanding how they felt about the situation is something that can help them move forward. It says, I choose to believe that I'm a wildly complex being and my unique self-expression serves an important divine purpose in the world. And whatever they feel about the situation is enough to know how to move forward, and they don't need to wait. They don't need to put all of it on you, basically, or, take away their responsibility, thus giving their power away. It's almost like sometimes this person doesn't understand that by giving people power and by giving people responsibility in the situation, they also give their power away. And so I also feel like I'm not surprised to see that I'm a wildly complex being. There's also this energy of this person needing to get out of black and white thinking and seeing things as very like much more complex than they have been. I forgive myself for thinking that just because I am capable of doing it all on my own, I should. I choose to believe that when I allow myself to fluidly receive from my environment, I'm able to amplify the loving impact I have on the world. I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, there's almost this energy of this person with the Knight of Swords feeling that it's like there's this pressure that they put on themselves to be better. Like there's kind of an energy of feeling like they have to be perfect, or like it's like they go back and forth between putting all of it on you and then all of it on them, like it's kind of this black and white energy. It says, I forgive myself for not really knowing where to invest my passion or attention. When I give myself permission to change my mind as needed, I strengthen my relationship with myself and clarify my deepest desires. And I forgive myself for attempting to solve other people's problems before I've solved my own. And so again, there's this energy of putting so much energy on you and like trying to figure you out that like they're maybe not even seeing that what they really need more clarity on is themselves. And like maybe they need to do more reflection on how they feel about the situation instead of kind of letting your viewpoint or trying to figure out how you feel, making it all about you, And so, yeah, I feel like they're in this energy of balancing out their feminine and masculine energy. All right, let's get a couple more cards to see what else is going on. And again, like there's this energy of how do I move forward, like not knowing where to invest my passion or attention. It's like there's this energy of this person being like very watery and needing to learn how to be their own container, their own masculine energy, instead of maybe trying to outsource that with you. It's like there's a feeling of this person trying to figure out like how to balance themselves out, how to stop focusing so much on you and flip the script on them. Figure out what they need to develop within themselves to be more self-sufficient and more empowered and more able to achieve in this sort of Capricorn energy. So they can move forward. It's like, yeah, we have time to go here, which also came out, I believe, or not for you came out. But yeah, this person is needing to figure out, we have peace in reverse. Let me just get a couple more. Yeah, this person is learning maybe how their feminine energy has potentially distorted things, how their feminine energy has potentially kept them from knowing when to take action, from feeling valid in the actions that they take. And it's like there's this sense of, because of their feminine energy being so dominant, it can sometimes stir up this like chaos energy where they don't recognize that they can find their peace by honoring their feelings. Like, for example, this person may feel very confused and upset by the relationship, but they'll keep their mind on attention on it instead of just making a judgment call, like, you know what, like, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot from this situation. I'm just going to like walk away then. It's like they'll not know how to take action forward because they stay attached in a way. And so it's almost like they have a hard time getting their motion in or moving in a direction because they're like waiting for the masculine energy to do that. But meanwhile, it's disempowering them. And so I think this person's going through a lot like internally and trying to figure things out. They may be doing shadow work. They're being called to do shadow work. And I think this relationship has been very triggering for them at the very least. And they are, I think, coming to the conclusion that in order to be empowered, they need to move forward. Yeah. How is pile number 3's person currently feeling? What's their energy like? Yeah, we have stay back here too. And I feel like this person is learning proper boundaries. And I think this person is also trying to figure out how to put in boundaries and how to be in their masculine energy without like demonizing the other or like flipping the script like really intensely. And so I feel like this person is learning how to like bring in a balance of their masculine energy where it's like, so they don't just like flip flop or go black and white between the two. It's like there's a gray area that I think this person is trying to comprehend about this dynamic and about this relationship where they can understand that because someone has boundaries, it doesn't make them evil. Because you're having boundaries, it doesn't mean you have to see them as all bad or all good, you know? And so I just think that this person has in the past very much been like, okay, I'm either 100% in or I'm like 100% out and you're the devil, you know? And so this person is learning how to have a more balanced like understanding of the dynamic right now. But I do think that it does involve them kind of walking away. Yeah. And there's that service. It's like either they're all in and they're all out, you know? And it's like, how do they learn how to have their identity just not from always fitting into other people's molds? Yeah. Ungrateful daughter and earthly mother. I do think this person has honestly been of service in situations, has had weak boundaries, and has needed to understand when their energy was being taken for granted. And to be quite frank, they may have felt like that in this dynamic with you. Yeah, and do some alchemy. This person is really alchemizing shadow right now, and they're turning this into a greater understanding of self and a greater display of their feminine energy, a more empowered energy this person is trying to come into. So that's what I have for you. You could have been either person in this dynamic. Again, I know I said that a lot of times. I just want to make sure it's clear. So I'm going to go into the extended reading where we're going to be looking at what your guys' next energy exchange will be like, what energy both of you will be in, what the collective energy is going to be, and we'll be doing it in a person A, person B dynamic. So we're going to be looking into a little bit into the future of the connection. So if that sounds interesting for you, I'll have it linked down below. If you're leaving me here, thank you so much for watching this video. If it did resonate for you, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment. I love to see what you guys have to say about the readings, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next pick a card reading. And I hope to connect with your energy sometime soon.